Hey, welcome.
What was that?
We're okay. So, Chad, let's talk about this.
Okay.
How is our viewership and how is our listeners? It's going down, right?
Yeah, it's going down.
It's been going down for like 6 months to a year. When did you start belching on Q?
Well, all I can say is it worked for Howard Stern, so I'm like, maybe it'll help us.
Yeah, you're not Howard Stern. Neither
I
am I.
know. I don't have the hair
No.
or the glasses
That's the difference.
or the personality or the height or the weight.
You're probably skinny as Howard.
Oh no, he's way skinnier than me.
I don't know. I think you guys should get the skinny jeans off.
Do you think it's because we also don't have a Robin? I don't mean Howard Stern's assistant. I mean a boy.
No,
wonder.
like an actual bird.
Actually, I meant the boy wonder. Just to have him run by in tights occasionally. You know, just something for the kids.
James,
We're three Baba Booies with no Stern.
You're picadillos, bud. Sometimes. All right. So today we're going to talk about something that I had a hard time with because I just said yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like episode 233, 234. We've been phoning it in, people, for a while.
Yeah.
Do you think that's why viewership's going down? We keep saying we're phoning it in.
No, I think.
No, I think they can tell. I think that's what's doing
I
it.
think the show. I actually think the show's the same. It's just they've changed.
Yeah.
Well, or they kept saying, "Oh, they'll hit their stride eventually," and they're like,
"There's no stride.
No, there's no stride."
So
we're on the back side of 40 and on the short side of time. Anybody else want to burst into song? Just me.
Back to what I was saying, folks, is that this topic is we're going to do ninja films, movies.
Ninja movies.
And turns out I'm not a big fan.
And you know what? It turns out not me either.
But it was your idea.
And it turns out I'm not going to talk about films because there's only about two that I saw that I was like, yeah, I could talk about that.
Yeah. So
well, it turns out the first thing I'm going to talk about isn't a film either, James. So there you go.
So yeah, we're just talking about ninjas then.
Well, I couldn't find three ninja movies I like that weren't the teenage.
Oh, three ninja movies. You love them three ninjas.
If you seriously, if you take away the Teenage Mutant variety, there's a ton of Hong Kong films. I don't even know, but that's not even ninja. A lot of
you're leaving out a ton of them, Joe. There's ninjas in Citizen Kane. There's ninjas in Space Cowboys, but they're just really good at hiding. They're ninjas, Joe.
Yeah.
If you look for it, Google it sometime. Citizen Kane, and then in quotes, Ninja Cut.
So let's be honest.
It'll show you where they're all hidden. It's a great website.
So let's be honest. This is my fault because
this isn't your fault.
No, this is my fault.
It's your fault.
It's my fault because I wanted to talk martial art films, but when I started thinking about martial art films, there's a ton of them that I like, and I really wanted to kind of separate it into various other segments that we're going to spread out across various episodes. And I was like, well, ninjas is a good topic to start on. And boy, was I wrong.
So wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong, but so pretty.
But, you know, at the same time, though, I was easily able to pick out three movies that I enjoy. Admittedly, one of them is good. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, that two of the movies that I picked are trash.
Can I do a prediction? Can I pull what did Johnny Carson do? Kreskin. Yeah, the great Kreskin. Let me just see if I can do
Kreskin.
Whatever, doesn't matter. Let me try see if I can do this. Chad's picks will be Three Ninjas, American Ninja with Michael Dudikoff.
Why are you doing this? We have to. This is the whole point.
No, hold on. And something probably with Chuck Norris. Something canon.
Oh my God, you're such an asshole. You got one
that
of
wasn't
them right.
canon. They changed the whole gestalt.
You got one of them right. You got one of them right.
All right. Well, that was just I just wanted to see if I was getting better or worse with time. A 333 batting average get you in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, real quick, guys, we were talking about ninjas, and this is all apropos. The reason being is that I sometimes sit and watch or listen to really more old YouTube clips, interview shows. I went through a lot of different ones from the 60s and the 70s, and And the other day, Johnny Carson one came up. It's been several Johnny Carson. A lot of the clips are on there. So, like James, you were talking about Johnny Carson. Guess who he had on the show in the mid 80s? Just take a guess.
Chuck Norris.
Steven Seagal.
I'll never guess it. They had the Lee Van Cleef. You kids like the Lee Van Cleef?
Oh my God, that was going to be the one I was going to talk about. You slimy son of a gun.
Dude, you just did it to me, so go screw yourself.
No, it's funny when it happens to you. When it happens to me, it's a tragedy.
So Lee Van Cleef is on the Johnny Carson show there. They're talking there, Norm. They're just talking. And all of a sudden, he's like, "You've got this new show, and it's the 80s." And he goes, "I do." Very seriously, Lee Van Cleef. It's about ninjas. He goes, "Yes, it's about ninja." And a lot is not even known about ninja. And he's talking and describing ninja. He won't say ninjas, just ninja. And being so serious and about the art of it. I had no idea that he was on a show. The show was created by the same guy. It's called The Master, by the way.
Actually, it was released as a film overseas as Master Ninja. And it has been riffed by Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Oh, really? Well,
yes, they do an entire Master Ninja team.
Well, hold on. Did you know the creator of it created the Equalizer?
Yes.
Okay. What else did you know?
It's kind of the same general plot. I mean, not the same plot, but the original Equalizer, he was part of a Secret Service agency, blah, blah, blah. He's a World War II vet. This is the same thing, except the Master, Lee Van Cleef plays John Peter McAllister.
Hold on, this is mine. You hold on for a second.
No. And anyway, he stays after.
Oh my God!
In Japan,
I just found the best ninja movie of all time. I'm teasing it. We'll talk about it at the end.
God! He stays in Japan after World War II ends. Don't think about that too long, and ends up becoming a master ninja. That's literally the loose plot line. Go ahead, Joe. Talk about Bill Conti.
Michael Sloan, not Bill Conti.
Bill Conti did the theme song.
Created the Equalizer, and he wrote on the original Battlestar Galactica, McLeod, Henry O'Quincy. But you know what he's really, guys, you guys will be really impressed. Do you know he wrote 18 episodes? I mean, just the majority of BJ and the Bear.
Oh.
Really?
Are you all impressed?
That, by the way, who was it that said that show that should have been the end of? It was John Oliver on last week said that pretty much every year it should be no. BJ and the Bear still gets the Emmy. Sorry, you still haven't topped that show.
Well, and also the Master starred Timothy Van Patten. If you don't know who that is, if you look him up, you'll be like, oh.
More importantly, Clu Gallagher, sir.
Well, I hadn't got that. You mean Clu Gallagher?
No, Gallagher. They couldn't afford Clu Gallagher.
I've met Clu, and you're not
Claude Akins, Demi Moore. It was one of Demi Moore's first role, learning also to be a master ninja.
James, you want to just go ahead and talk about this, bud? Because I seem to have hit some sort of Chad. Just get me out of this.
James,
no, have you never seen it, Joe? Seriously?
No, I've never seen the piece of shit.
Oh man, it used to air. Now it
came in 1984. I can't imagine what I was doing.
I didn't see it on 84. But
there's only 13 episodes, dude.
But USA, for some reason, in its early days, would just air them in a loop. Like they picked it up to air, and obviously 13 is not enough for syndication. So I can remember my dad watching them because he liked Lee Van Cleef because of westerns, and literally
Lee Van Cleef.
And he would play them, or they would play them.
Talk in Escape from New York.
But they would play them, and so I remember watching them with my dad. And even when I was young, I'm like, "Well, that guy doesn't look like a ninja." And then it was like, he's not doing overly ninja stuff either. And I remember a van. No, I remember watching it. And then Mystery Science Theater 3000 did riff it. Bill Conti, does do the soundtrack. Now, if you don't know who Bill Conti is, you've never seen a film. Bill Conti did the soundtrack for Rocky, is what a lot of people know him for. But he also did the soundtrack for The Karate Kid, For Your Eyes Only, that's a Bond film, Dynasty, and the sequel to Dynasty. Anybody remember the sequel to Dynasty, what it was called?
No.
The Colbys. And anyway, he won some of them Academy Awards and whatnot. But yeah, somehow he ended up doing the Master Ninja theme song. If you've ever seen them riff it on Mystery Science Theater 3000, it deserves to be riffed. It's not a great film, but I just remember watching it, and the fact that it got released as a movie in some places blows my mind. But it's an interesting premise about a guy just staying in Japan and learn to be a ninja before he comes back to America. And the overall arching plot of the series is his daughter's missing.
Yeah.
And he teams up with this guy to try to find his daughter, and he starts to train him how to be a ninja as well. If I remember correctly, the opening credits has a scene where it's supposed to be Lee Van Cleef, and it's obviously not, walking over a high wire at one point. It's just a flash scene in the credits. Or it's a part of an episode if it's not in the credits. I really remember that scene, though, because I'm like, that is obviously not Lee Van Cleef.
Great story.
Oh, no. Tell us more about, I don't know, that guy that's not Bill Conti that you're talking about. If it ain't about BJ and the Bear, I don't care.
All right, Chad.
Was Bear a ninja? Seems like he could have been.
I'm going to do what I normally do and talk about my favorite, and then just work as it goes down as this show progresses. I want to talk about my favorite ninja movie, and it's pretty much in the title, Ninja Scroll.
Yeah.
It is it's probably one of my favorite animes, if not my favorite anime of all time. Came out in 1993. Basically it's about a masterless ninja. Excuse me, I got a cough real quick. Who
back in a little while.
Yeah. He uses his skills.
Tuberculosis.
He uses his skills for profit, but gets thrown into an attempt to overthrow the government when he saves the life of a female ninja. And it is some of the best animation I think I've ever seen in terms of the effects, because it's all about him trying to protect this woman, and also just getting wrapped up in this constant this dark force trying to take over feudal Japan. And it follows a lot of the same premises that you see in a lot of these martial art films, where he just constantly has to fight somebody with a new set of skills, a different set of skills. Like the first person he fights is a man who is super strong, who has the skin of rock.
Yeah.
And how he, and then it moves on to somebody who can weaves like really sharp strands of sharp fiber and cuts people in two. And it all leads up to a twist ending, which I always like that, and especially when it's a twist ending you don't see coming. And I really didn't see that one on this one. I just really loved it. The animation style is great. And a lot of people around this time were into Vampire Hunter D, which I was never a fan of. Joe, remember we watched
I liked Vampire Hunter.
You liked it? Because I don't remember. I did not.
It's okay. I mean, it's not Akira.
No. And honestly, I prefer Ninja Scroll over Akira too, even though Akira, admittedly, animation wise,
kind of the gold standard.
Yeah, Akira is the gold standard.
But
it's just not. It's never been my favorite. I never really got that involved in it.
It doesn't make a whole hell of a lot of sense either.
No, it doesn't, and that's one of the reasons why I had a hard time with it.
Yeah.
But Ninja Scroll's not like that. It actually tells a legitimate story. And it led into a TV series, which I believe it or not, I have never seen. And it's been one of my goals to find a copy of the animated series of Ninja Scroll.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Ninja Scroll, and I wanted to talk about it to begin with. So if you haven't seen it, it is one of the best animes that I've ever seen, period. And I after I picked it up, I did look online for research on it. And a lot of people I didn't realize this, a lot of areas put it in the top 10. So I felt a little redeemed on that, because I thought I was the only one. Me and Bryce Oquay, I think, both like Ninja Scroll.
All right, I'm up next because I'm just going to steal another one from James, since James stole my last one and took it over.
I'm going to pick ones I know y'all won't pick now. We're going down a rabbit hole.
No, I've got one, buddy. I'm keeping my tradition of I'm going to pick another movie I've never seen.
That's what I'm going to do next, because now I've got to see this. But go ahead.
I wonder if it's the one I found, James.
I've got to see this. My ninja movie, my movie with ninjas in it, stars Gig Young from Westerns, Burt Young. And you're like, who's Burt Young? God, that's Paulie. Mako.
Rocky. Is it going to be a Rocky evening? We got Bill Conti. We got Paul Young,
Robert Duvall, Bo Hopkins, Hopkins, and James Caan, directed by Sam Peckinpah.
Oh,
that's right. The Killer Elite. I have never seen it.
Did you know that this existed?
No,
I didn't either. No, not until I picked out my movies and I was doing research on them, and this came up. I'm like, I did not know this existed. That Sam Peckinpah did a ninja movie with James Caan.
And apparently, you either have to pay for it on Prime, or it looks like Pluto or somebody if you get a full thing. How the hell did Pauly, Mako, and Robert Duvall and Gig Young? I'm sorry. Let me tell you a story about Gig Young. If you don't know who that is, he's a famous Western actor. He was actually the original Waco Kid for Blazing Saddles. Gig Young was. He's the one who had the shakes and the DTs and was sick, and that's the reason that Gene Wilder took over, is because Gig Young, they shot a half a day and he couldn't do it.
Wow. Yeah.
The Killer Elite. You guys want to hear the plot?
Yes, because I didn't look anything up on this. I just said, oh my God.
James Caan plays Mike Larkin, who works for a private security firm affiliated with the CIA. He's betrayed by his partner and then left apparently crippled for life. Now, what the hell does that have to do with ninjas?
Nothing.
So here's the poster. Men wanted. Private company with CIA contract seeks men willing to risk life. Perfect physical condition. Well, that's us guys. Experience with weaponry. I have weaponed my experience. Incendiaries like explosives. Karate, judo. No loyalties unless it's us, in which case we totally want you to be loyal. I swear to God, this shit writes itself. No dependents. Nobody depends on me. And long career, doubtful. James Caan, Robert Duvall, and Sam Peckinpah, the Killer Elite. Guys, we got to watch this shit.
Yeah. Put it on the list of things we have to watch when we're drinking our Flamin' Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew.
I don't think I'm going to do that.
You're doing it.
Don't make us get out the funnel,
I don't even like Flaming Hot Cheetos.
I don't either. Well, I don't either.
Yeah, well, life's hard by helmet.
You guys,
we'll play Living on the Edge, and then you'll chug a little shot glass of Flaming Hot Cheeto Mountain Dew.
It only made $1 million. I can't believe it didn't burn up the box office.
Oh, $1 million, you say? I can't wait to talk about my next one.
What year did this get released?
1975.
Oh man.
So a lot of these people were famous off The Godfather.
Yeah.
And Rocky would be 2 years later, right? 76.
Yeah.
So Burt Young was about to blow up as Pauly. Pauly from Rocky's going to kick the shit out of some ninjas. Seriously, how does this movie exist and we've never heard of it or seen it?
I don't know.
I feel like I've let everyone down. I know I've let myself down.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed this. I just have to see it.
We have to see this. This is a priority. I bet James Caan doesn't even remember this.
No, I'm sure he does, and just doesn't want to acknowledge that it exists.
All right, James, go ahead and you tell me all about your favorite movie, The Octagon.
No,
I've
not seen this film. Fair warning. I've not seen this film, but since all my other ones seems to be running out, and since I don't know a lot of ninja films, I've watched a lot of kung fu films, but not ninja films.
That's what I'm saying.
Same here.
Oh shit.
That being said, I saw this title, and of course, I followed it down the rabbit hole because I'm like, well, I got to find out what this movie's like. Let me do the taglines. Now, on the DVD box, this is the tagline. There's a lot of kicking in this film. The tagline that was on the movie poster is, and I wish I could give this the gravitas that it deserves. The true measure of a man lies not in realizing his destiny, but in having the courage to follow it, even if it means killing your long-lost brother. Here's the storyline before I give you the title. An Irish American, George McGoogle, wants nothing more than to grow up and become a ninja. In traveling to Japan to fulfill his dream, he finds his long-lost brother, Gertrude, and the secrets behind their father's death. Now a broken man, he returns to America, where an interview crew awaits to document his life story. By the way, the More Like This category only lists the 3 American Ninja films because this film is called Irish American Ninja. Hold on, it gets better, folks.
By the way, I really thought James was going to bring up Jim Cotta.
This film premiered in 1999 at the Southern Methodist University Film Festival under the earlier title, The Life of George McGoogle.
Why is with all the pauses? Keep rolling.
No, that's it. It's about a guy that goes to Japan, becomes a ninja, but then finds out his father's dead, and that he meets his brother, who's named Gertrude, and then he becomes an alcoholic and comes home. That is the Irish American Ninja. Well, he's kind of stereotyping Irish people and ninjas.
And how long is this movie?
I think it's an hour and 14 good minutes.
Okay.
Yeah. And it stars, let's see, Bill Sebastian is George McGoogle. James Cable is Gertrude McGoogle. And that really, Luke Anton Wilson is Black Ninja Master, which also may be stereotyping, and that's wrong.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my God,
James! At least Joe's is going to be awful, but it'll be intriguing because it's Sam Peckinpah.
One of the villains' name is all caps Bad Guy Under Bridge. Why did it?
Face.
Why wasn't that an action figure? Can you imagine how many kids would have loved to play with Bad Guy Under Bridge?
Well, actually, probably, unfortunately, too many kids did get played with Bad Guy Under Bridge.
Oh, you took my terrible movie reference. And by the way, if anybody that was involved in making this feels that we have been unfair, it was written and directed and starred as George McGoogle, Bill Sebastian, and Bill Sebastian has gone on to make other things as well. So he's a director. He's more successful than I am. I probably shouldn't have made fun of his movie.
Yeah.
That followed up, by the way, his earlier short films, and I'll just run through these really quick. Idea Men, short, Baghead, Love Machine, and Robots Are Blue.
How did they know my name? Robots Are Blue.
Baghead?
Robots Are Blue. Baghead's funnier, but to me, Robots Are Blue. All right.
I am going to talk about a movie who is directed by Sam Furstenberg. You know him from such movies as Cyborg Cop 1 and 2, Motel Blue, Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
And of course, his most popular film, other than the one I'm getting ready to mention, The Interplanetary Surplus Male and Amazon Women of Outer Space.
That's just a poor copy of
Amazon
Women on the Moon.
I am, of course, going to talk about what James spoiled earlier, American Ninja.
Now, just the first one, you aren't going to go through the gestalt of the franchise?
I never made it through the first, other than the first one. I got about 20 minutes into the second one and stopped it.
It's on a couple. The second one's on a couple of lists, though, guys.
American Ninja 2 is.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Ooh.
I know. I don't ask me. I didn't watch American Ninja. Keep going.
Yeah, no,
I didn't know there were 4 of them. I thought there were only 3. Good Lord.
Yeah, and he gets replaced I think after part 2. I don't think it's Michael Dudikoff after part 2. Somebody fact check me on that. To steal a quote from our friend Glenn. American Ninja. No, it is a canon film, which most hacky 80s martial arts films came from canon.
They really did.
Oh my God, there's so many. And American Ninja is no exception. It is about an American soldier who's on a base in the Philippines, who is secretly a ninja, but he's keeping his whole life a secret from his art. James?
There are 5 American Ninja films, sorry. And Chad, you are correct. He gets replaced in part 3 because it becomes David Bradley as the American Ninja, joined by Steve James and Marjo Gortner.
Well, and Steve James has been in every one. I don't know about 4 and 5, but he was the.
Oh wait, Dudikoff comes back for part 4 and joins David Bradley.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let's put that up after the Killer Elite.
Yeah.
And then in part 5, it's David Bradley by himself, but Pat Morita joins it. Mr. Miyagi himself, 1993.
Huh. Yeah. But no, so Steve James was the co-lead in American Ninja, and he was in if you know who Steve James is, you would look him up, you go, oh, that's Steve James. He was in a lot of Cannon films. He was even a lot of the Chuck Norris films. He was in at least, I know he was in The Hero and the Terror. Yeah, I watched.
Which one was he?
He was neither. Chuck Norris was the hero, and oh God, Egal was the Terror.
Oh, that would be Richard Bateshart. It's not Richard Bateshart. Yeah. It's Trap Jaw, and by that I mean
Richard Kiel.
Thank you.
God, I don't know why it took me a minute.
Sure, that's Richard Kiel.
Look it up. I could be wrong.
I don't think it is. I think it's the guy who's the butler guy in Fright Night Part 2. But keep going.
But by the way, Chad, sorry, this trivia just popped up on my screen. I wanted to share it. In an interview in 2012 with German media, where they were promoting a special release of the film, Michael Dudikoff revealed the reason he sweated so much during the later fight scenes in the film is because he had malaria and they wanted to stop filming.
he is sweating a lot. And and that's the funny part is he's supposed to be a ninja, and he moves as stiff as any white man you've ever seen. And the storyline makes no sense. It's all over the place. He's in the Philippines. He's sneaking out to see a woman, but at the same time, he's a ninja, and then something involves his sensei where it just comes out of the blue. It is a terrible film, but but you can't talk about cliche 80s films and not talk about a ninja film. And this is at the highlight of just corny 80s ninjas. And it was literally Cannon just throwing. I believe there's even like a movie from Cannon called just Ninja.
Hey, Jack O'Halloran was the Terror, and he was Non in Superman 2.
Sorry, you're right. I don't know where I got.
I was wrong. He's not the other square jaw guy. I had him confused. There's 3 now. If you throw in Richard Kiel. Do you remember the guy who's like the henchman in Fright Night 2?
No. He
also has a square jaw.
Oh, it's not is it the one with the dimple?
Kind of, sort of.
And he's in Tango and Cash and gets his smack.
Also, no, that's Robert.
And he was in fraud.
I've met him. He was at that festival where our movie played that one time in Wisconsin that you two didn't go to.
Oh,
remember? Yeah, he was like the guest of honor. No, not him. Also, and I know you need to know this, he plays Emil Muzz from Dragnet. I want a Snickers bar. I want bubble gum.
Oh God, yeah,
right. And your badge or something badge kisser.
Yeah.
All I've got is your balls and this drawer. Right?
Yeah.
Dragnet.
And he's just sweating. I just
remember, no one talks about anymore.
Oh my God. I just remember now we're talking about American Ninja. Now I got that image of the drawer opening and him getting all sweaty.
Your balls in this drawer. Emil Muzz.
All right. I
wrote that, but yeah, go.
I'm done talking about American Ninja, guys. Go ahead.
No,
I'm done.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I'm good.
What does he have to do? What's his quest? What's
he doesn't have a quest. That's the whole reason it doesn't make a lot of sense. He's just a regular soldier who sneaks off the base at night and
goes ninja.
He doesn't even ninja. He's just trying to find a woman, but he keeps getting caught in random trouble and he has to use his ninja skills to get out of it. And then it all wraps up at the end and on some plantation owner who he has to defeat. It literally makes no sense. Watch it.
It sucks. It's awful. Try it.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
This is revolting. Can I have another?
All right. Who's next?
You.
Oh shit! I don't even have anything. Go, Jane. Oh, I do. I do. It's here.
Go ahead.
All right. In 2009.
God. By the way, if the anthology series where we actually knew what we were talking about, Didn't make any views.
No, this will end up being the biggest hit
I've seen
ever.
this one though, guys. I've actually seen this one. Out of all the ones I've talked about, I've seen this one. Now, you want to hear a deep dark secret?
Yeah.
I know I've seen it. I can't tell you a damn thing about it and have no recollection. And it only came out in 2009. So, you want to hear a funny story?
I wonder if it's the one that I was going to bring up at the end that came out in 2009. Go ahead.
Probably. So the Wachowski brothers made all the monies from what movies?
The Matrix.
That's right.
Matrices.
No, it was Bound.
Bound. Yeah, I do love Bound.
God, I love Bound.
It's a good movie. Anyway, so they decided to do another film, and they could do no wrong. And then they did Speed Racer, and they did a bunch of wrong.
Oh, I disagree.
The problem is that Speed Racer doesn't work today, especially not live action.
Hey, that film has something very special.
What? A monkey?
No. Christina Ricci's in it. I'll give anything my attention for a few minutes of Christina Ricci.
I no, didn't do it for me. I didn't watch Speed Racer as a kid. So later on, they did produce and write a movie called V for Vendetta that I was very fond of. And in that movie, they got a director named James McTeague. And apparently at some time they got this guy to do some stunts. He's Korean and they think he's amazing. If we ever did a ninja movie, we should get him. They didn't know that he was popular in South Korea or in Korea. So they kind of made a joke and it was like, well, yeah, somehow or another, they got this piece of shit greenlit. You guys remember Ninja Assassin? It came out in 2009, directed by James McTeague, who directed V for Vendetta, produced by the Wachowskis. Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do.
Do you remember parts of it?
Vaguely parts, yeah.
So you don't really remember it. Nope. I don't either. It originated as a joke. The star, Rain, he did all of his own stunts. He chose all of his own weapons, had to learn how to use some weapons. So all that's really cool. The problem is that they had a green light, and guess what they didn't have?
A script.
Oh, James, have you ever heard that story before? Someone got
it's called Jurassic Park 3.
Have you ever heard? Oh, there's several more of those examples, but it happens. We got a green light, boys. Studio said, go do it. We're going to go do it. There's a guy, and James is still right up your alley. They had my
third favorite Jurassic Park movie.
They had a script, James, but the Wachowskis didn't like it, and they needed a guy, and they were about to shoot in a few weeks, and they pulled a favor with somebody, James, that you're a huge fan of. And he said, you know what I'll do? I'll do it. And he wrote the script in 56 hours.
I know it's not Harlan Ellison because that never happened.
But you're close. J. Michael Straczynski. JMS wrote it. He went home, brewed a pot of coffee, no joke, and wrote the screenplay, rewrote it in 56 hours and changed the whole plot. Because there wasn't a plot. There was just all these action scenes. Now, I don't still say there is a plot because I don't remember a plot. I don't remember anything cool. I remember the trailers kind of and it looking cool, but V for Vendetta, I remember it vividly. Ninja Assassin, not so much.
Well, but V for Vendetta had it had something to build off of. That is a phenomenal Alan Moore book.
All the orphans in the movie were just random German kids.
Which was weird because they filmed in Wisconsin.
So he's brought them on. I don't know. Some of this stuff is just hilarious when I was reading up on this movie. Just found it hilarious. So who's next?
James.
I'll go because listen, guys, I've got to do a 2-for. I know you're going to be upset, but you've got to let me do both these at once because I don't want to break up this just stall.
Yeah, American Ninja 2, The Confrontation.
No.
12 of the best ninja films of all time, Chad. Not American Ninja. American Ninja.
By the way,
it took till 2 till it really picked up its steam.
By the way, IMDb lists American Ninja now as American Warrior.
I know, I saw that. It's been re-released.
American Warrior. Sorry.
I'm going to talk about 2 films. I'm going to start with the 2002 film, and I'll read this plot line to kind of set it up.
The Ninja Terminator.
No.
Cyber Ninja.
No, sir. You're never gonna. Let me just read it. You're gonna guess the title pretty quickly as I read this plot. 4 perky but clueless cheerleaders from the Happy Valley High Hamsters are mistakenly blamed by the meddling church ladies. That's an organization, by the way, the church ladies.
Well,
for the invasion of the quote internet smuts into their children's rooms. The church ladies hire Stephen, a sexually ambiguous teacher from the local parochial reform school, to teach the cheerleaders a lesson. But the cheerleaders have more than Stephen to worry about. Lurking in the shadows is Mr. X, an evil mastermind who is using the cheerleaders as guinea pigs to test his internet zombie domination software. That is the plot.
Right,
that is the plot. Maybe it is a better plot than what Ninja Assassin. That is the plot to, of course, 2002's epic film, written and directed by Kevin Campbell, Cheerleader Ninjas. Now, I know what you're saying about Cheerleader Ninjas. Seems like I've seen something with that title, but that wasn't the plot. You're probably thinking of the other movie I wanted to talk about. That would be Ninja Cheerleaders. Now, in Ninja Cheerleaders, it's about 3 college cheerleaders who, after hours, are also go-go dancers who have to use their martial arts skills to save their sensei from the mafia, Joe.
Everybody's got to be hustling. Everybody needs a side hustle.
But they also have to keep their extracurricular activities as ninja a secret, or they won't get to go to Brown, the Ivy League school. Well, I guess being ninjas is not an approved extracurricular activity, which, by the way, this film highlights an issue. Why is it that they have to be cheerleaders to get to go to Brown, but ninjas aren't accepted at Brown? That's a bias. And I would argue one is more important than the other. Both these films don't exactly star anybody major, except the 2008 Ninja Cheerleaders, again, not to be confused with Cheerleader Ninjas, has one of the best castings for a sensei ever.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to cast a diehard sensei in a 2008 film and you want to be responsive, you're going to cast George Takei. And they did. It also stars Eric Stonestreet. Most people know him as Modern Family. Well, guess what, kids? In this movie, he plays the character of Beer Gut.
Beer Gut?
Beer Gut. Yep. So there you go. I mean, I've not seen either of these films, but I was looking at the list of worst films. And by the way, just as an FYI, Cheerleader Ninjas has 2.8 out of 10 stars. Ninja Cheerleaders beats it at having 3.3 stars out of 10. So if you only have time for one, gentlemen, just burn your eyes with something. It'll probably be about the same effect. But I did not, because this was on a list of worst ninja films, and I was like, I've never heard of either one of these. And then I read the plot summary, and I was like, these movies aren't even similar, other than cheerleading and ninja arts. But you're right, Joe. It is sad that everybody's got to have a side hustle. It's not enough to be a cheerleader and go a university student anymore. Now you've got to be a ninja. You got to fight the mafia.
It's
a lot, man. It's just a lot. You know, our grandparents didn't have to do that.
No, it's the man keeping us down.
My grandfather worked in a brickyard. He was never like, no, I got to work in a brickyard. Now I got to go, martial arts these mafia fellas.
Yeah. So what about You Only Live Twice, James? It has a bunch of ninjas in it.
It does. It's also one of the most complicated Bond films in retrospect.
It's complicated, and a lot of people call it racist. Is actually the word.
Yes, racist is what I was leading into, because it's like, oh, now he looks Japanese. I'm like, no, that's obviously still Sean Connery. Like, literally, if you brought anybody to that island and went, there's one British agent hidden amongst these people.
It's also the one written by Roald Dahl.
I know. But Roald Dahl was a complicated individual as well. Yeah, that's the thing. As people talk about all these children's authors and stuff like that, they were all complicated people. Like Dr. Seuss there's some issues with Dr. Seuss, right?
Yeah.
Roald Dahl lived a terrible life and suffered a lot. So it's no wonder that really outside, most of his stories involve kids going through a lot of crap, a lot of terrible things.
And not really ending well for them. It's Chad's turn, I think.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about one that I've talked about previously, because I was going to talk about Three Ninjas. And then I remembered I know nothing about that film because that was one of those ones my brothers really liked.
I saw it in theaters. I vaguely remember seeing the first one in theaters.
I've never even seen Beverly Hills Ninja.
Seriously?
I haven't. I like Chris Farley on Saturday Night Live, but I'm not a Tommy Boy or fan. I didn't get it. I probably think it's funnier now than I did when I was younger.
Well, see, I thought Beverly Hills Ninja. So I love Tommy Boy. I still do. But Beverly Hills Ninja, I liked when I was younger because Chris Farley was on that wave. I watched it a few years ago and I did not find it funny at all.
I own the soundtrack. It's actually right down here under my desk. I've got it. And by the way, the Beverly Hills Ninja soundtrack is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about the movie, but.
So I'm going to talk about one that I brought up in the past because I found some more interesting stuff about it. Surf Ninjas.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my next one, but roll on with you, Surf Ninjas, because
Leslie Nielsen's the bad guy, right?
Yeah, Leslie Nielsen is the bad guy.
And it stars father and son team of the Reyes.
Cutting him off.
Yeah, Ernie Reyes Sr. and Ernie Reyes Jr., which, by the way, this apparently killed Ernie Reyes Jr.'s career. And Ernie Reyes Jr., he could have done something, in my opinion, but they just didn't give him a credit. I mean, the guy was acting as far back as Red Sonja. And even before then. I mean, he was a little kid in that movie. He was flipping all over the place. Very talented man who I did not get the career that he should have, in my opinion. But no, it was directed by Neil Israel. And what kills me is go ahead,
I didn't know that. No, Neil Israel and Pat Proft wrote together. They wrote Police Academy.
Yeah,
I think Bachelor Party. Sorry,
I'd have to look on that one. He also wrote Look Who's Talking. Did a bunch of stuff for Disney, but he did Bachelor Party as well. You're right. Also Tunnel Vision and Breaking the Rules. Now, writing credit for this movie goes to Dan Gordon. Joe, do you know who Dan Gordon is?
I do not. Neil Israel pulled out of my ass. I don't know Dan Gordon off the top of my head.
I'll start with your favorite movie of his, Rambo: Last Blood.
Oh God,
it's terrible.
Have you guys seen it? It is bad.
I have seen it. It's
damn near unwatchable and racist. It's just awful.
It's bad.
Saw it in theaters.
It's what is it? 75 minutes. It's just
Now there's an extended cut that adds about 25 more minutes to it.
Yeah, I think that's the one I saw too. It was bad. It was racist, and it went a little too dark for me where I had a hard time getting through it.
Do you think, by the way, that movie originally ended with him dying? Spoiler if anybody.
I mean, yeah, probably, but at the same, or maybe the script did, but
and I'm sure somebody, Sylvester Stallone, got a hold of Dan Gordon's script because that's what I'm going to talk about Surf Ninjas.
I don't know why Stallone is a better dude than that movie.
Yeah. But he also wrote Murder in the First, Wyatt Earp, 1997's The Assignment. And it could go on and on. He also wrote, he's wrote trash too. He wrote a movie, The Passenger 57 and Gotcha. But he did write Tank. Anyway, Dan Gordon originally wrote the script for Surf Ninjas. Mm-hmm. And then it was written like a straight action film, which I think would have been cool. But now, unfortunately, they hired Neil Israel.
Yeah. And
he decided not only to rewrite the script, but also to ask for the help of one Rob Schneider, because they are friends. So him and Rob Schneider rewrote this film. Rob Schneider got cast as the friend who does not fit into this movie at all.
I like Rob Schneider though.
I'm going to go with Joe. Rob Schneider is to me what Chris Farley is to Joe. I never could get into Rob Schneider.
There's a
couple. Hold on. Can I do it real quick? Can I do it? Okay. You don't like the sauce? You not liking the sauce?
No.
The sauce is bad. The sauce is rancid. The sauce skit has gone on too long. We in the sauce skit.
And the making copies, I never did like that. I found him annoying every time he was on every time his skit came on. Anyway, no. So they just completely took what was a straight action film and turned it into a kind of goofy kids movie. And put a whole lot of product placement, which I'll get into. And it, like I said, it stars Leslie Nielsen as the villain, as a villain who does he know karate? Does he not? He still dresses like a samurai. It makes no sense. He actually scared the kids in the movie because he stayed in character off screen. Which, why would you? But he decided to. And yeah, it's about these two kids who are living with their uncle, who is all of a sudden is kidnapped, and they find out through a random set of events that they are in a lineage to take over a kingdom, and that they have some hidden abilities. So Ernie Reyes Jr., who's the older brother, has the ability to use karate and sword fight, and his little brother can see the future through his Game Gear. Sega Game Gear. And this movie was
plot is still going. And I'm not being a jackass. It's like you're still explaining this plot.
Well, no, and I'm getting into, because I want to talk about this. It was also a huge platform for the Sega Game Gear. They thought this movie would catapult that handheld gaming device into the atmosphere. And if you don't know what Game Gear was, everybody remembers the Nintendo Game Boy, small square box. The Game Gear was a larger, you had to hold it with both hands.
Yeah.
And it had a color screen. And they thought that was what's going to catapult them off the Game Boy. Problem is, the Game Gear sucked. And my brother got the Game Gear, and he loved Surf Ninjas, and he got the game. And the funny part is, the game does not mirror what's actually played in the movie at all.
It was made only for the movie, right?
Yeah, it was made only for the movie. And there's continuity errors because he's supposed to be playing this game, and it actually has another game inside of the console called Columns. But yeah, no, and the movie just gets terribly more. Turner is supposed to be cracking jokes, and it's just none of the jokes are just failing miserably. And then Rob Schneider tries to come in, and none of the jokes are funny. And now the tragic part about this, and I'll quit after this, is it actually killed Ernie Reyes during Junior's career. He had a 3-picture deal with New Line after Ninja Turtles Part 2 because they saw a lot of potential in him from that movie. And he was the standout person in that. And Surf Ninjas was such a terrible failure, both critically and commercially, that they canceled his contract right after it, and he never got it back. He never got back to where he was headed after that standout performance in Part 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Hey, can I 6 degrees of separation this to mix drawn?
Sure.
All right. Hear me out, Chad. Do you know who was one of the makeup people on Surf Ninjas?
No.
Suzanne Parker Sanders was the main hairstylist makeup person on the set of Surf Ninjas, both hairstylist and makeup artist. She worked on the following. By the way, it's a heck of a career. And it may have damaged her career because after she did Surf Ninjas, she did Philadelphia Experiment 2, Man's Best Friend, Night of the Demons 2. But before that, she was on a roll. Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Mick. Wild Forest, these were music videos. Shocker, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, Spaced Invaders.
Jeff Burr, who's been on the show, directed Texas Chainsaw 3.
I'd say Spaced Invaders. We're touching a lot of people. I bet a lot of people. Maybe we need to see if we can track down Suzanne Parker Sanders and have her on the show to give us stories on that. Critters 3, A Rage in Harlem, Freddy's Dead, Frankenstein: The College Years, and Revenge of the Nerds 3, Critters 4, and Babylon 5. All before Surf Ninjas. And after Surf Ninjas, she was not doing all those bigger films anymore.
It's kind of funny.
Surf Ninjas end Suzanne Parker Sanders' career?
It probably ended a bunch of people's careers because it really is a terrible film. It looked not
awful when it came out. I remember the trailers for it thinking, I don't want to see this.
I had no desire to see it when I was a kid either, but my brothers, it was literally every martial art film from the 80s and 90s I had to watch. You said the Octagon. I had to see the Octagon.
I've never seen it.
But it's kind of funny you brought up Mick, because I was going to bring up Mick earlier about Lee Van Cleef, because he did work on a movie called Armed Response, which is about Japanese gangsters. And for some reason, Michael Berryman is a Japanese gangster.
Hey,
and we've met like 2/3 of the people you just rattled off.
I know, that's what I was thinking. We
like Michael Beverly. We've talked to Berryman. I've interviewed him.
Yeah.
Lee Van Cleef won't do the show though. I won't return my calls.
He's a real stick in the mud, or he's down in the mud. I forget how that works. By the way, my God, here's somebody that was not affected by Surf Ninjas. That would be the first assistant director. And he was also the first assistant director. And by the way, that would be J. Stephen Buck. He was also first assistant director on Alcatraz, Fool's Dance. Let me jump to some we'll actually know. Earth Girls Are Easy.
Yeah, that one I know.
Highlander 2, The Quickening. Doc Hollywood. Oh my God. He was first assistant director on Highlander 2 and Doc Hollywood in 1 year. Can you imagine? By the way,
he shot that shot in Doc Hollywood. You all know the shot.
In 1993, the year of Surf Ninjas, here's the things he was first assistant director on. Surf Ninjas. No. Surf Ninjas, your favorite film, Life with Mikey, Beethoven Second, and Mr. Jones.
Mr. Jones and me.
God, I hate that song.
Yeah, I do too.
It's all right with me.
I liked it when I was younger.
I don't care.
Who's the band that does that?
Counting Crows.
Counting Crows.
Oh, 1, 2, 3.
All right, guys. Is there any more ninja stuff?
I gotta talk. I have one honorable mention and it was the one that I teased earlier. So, James, do you have any before I do mine?
Well, what I was gonna say is, I'm amazed none of you all brought this up, because on a bunch of the ninja lists are the Ninja Turtles, which I understand, but G.I. Joe. Does G.I. Joe automatically make these lists because there's so few American ninja films that it's Snake Eyes, he counts?
Yeah.
Oh, I saw
Eyes and Storm Shadow, I guess.
I saw the new Snake Eyes film.
How was it? Was it everything you hoped it would be?
Well, let's say one thing me and Joe agree on is that Samara Weaving can do no wrong. That no longer is relevant because Snake Eyes was terrible.
Is it even watchable? What's it on? Is it on?
It's on Paramount Plus, and I guess since their merger with MGM, and it's on Amazon Prime as well.
Oh, can I talk about one that everybody's forgotten and nobody ever talks about that's technically a ninja film?
What?
Elektra. There's a forgotten comic book film.
Another on the list, and that's one that
it was on a list of good ones. I mean, I'm not being mean, but it's got a great cast.
Yeah, it does have a great cast, but I don't know anybody who likes it or remembers it.
I mean, it was. It should have been better than it was. It had a story that it could have worked. The other one that I'll mention just in passing, because my son really liked it at the time. Actually, there's two more I want to mention. The Ninjago movie, the Lego one.
Yeah, I watched that.
My son really liked it. And the other one that I want to mention, oh God, did I just forget it? Did I just go blank?
Yes, because I always called it Ninjago, but it's Ninjago.
It's Ninjago. It's the power of Ninjago.
Ninjago.
Oh crap! I can't believe it.
Go Ninja,
go.
I forgot, Chad. If it'll come back to me, I'll come back to
it. And do CURTLE.
Power.
MA. Why did you put MA on there?
Did I say MA?
I don't know.
I don't think I did. Yeah. So Joe mentioned, I was afraid when Joe said 2009, when he was referring to Ninja Assassin, I thought he was going to bring up this one. Luckily he didn't. I do want to start off with the catch phrase, and this is what makes me want to watch it. Let me pull it up.
Yeah.
Bad jokes, bad plot, bad dubbing. Edited together with 100 rolls of sticky tape. Dracula versus the Ninja on the Moon.
Well, I know it sounds good. I'd try.
It's 46 minutes. It looks absolutely terrible. It is, and it's pretty bad when the cast is Neil Anderson as the man on the chair, Stephen Andrews as Boink, and Mark Bigham as Toxic Puke TV guy.
It's not even funny.
It's not. It's absolutely terrible. But for some reason, when I looked up ninja films, it came up with Dracula versus the Ninja on the Moon. I must have typed something crazy. I don't know what I did, but it came up, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a thing that exists in the world. Sorry, no other honorable mentions other than Three Ninjas, but I haven't seen it since I was
this topic.
Actually, yeah. I want to bring up one more that I have actually seen. Chad, you've probably seen it too. You didn't want to bring up Batman Ninja?
I saw it. I own it. I didn't care for it.
I literally was watching it going, they have managed to squeeze in every anime cliche ever in here. When they start battling in giant robot Lord Joker.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, yep, you did it. You pulled it off. You fit in everything I would expect out of somebody going.
I hate that choppy animation style that for some people think is artistic, and it's just terrible.
Give me another example. I haven't seen that one. The new Disney cartoons do some of that. I'm wondering if it's the same.
I'm trying to think off the top. You're catching me. I can't remember off the top of my head. It reminds me a lot of. It's not the same type, but it's kind of like. What's the Star Wars animated show that it's not Rebels? It's the one that came up after Rebels.
Yeah. Ninja Assassin.
No, that's not it.
Like
Star Wars Ninja Assassin.
Anyway, but no, what does should get a shout out, even though it sounds like it should be terrible. Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is actually
no, that was not bad.
Yeah, it's actually an entertaining cartoon.
It's a little darker.
Yes.
Yeah. Now we've got that one. We own it. He's watched. We actually had to. He was a little too fighty after that one.
Yeah, and for some, I don't. And James mentions Batman Ninja. It does get a lot of good reviews.
A lot of people love it. I mean, I remember watching it, but literally when I watched it, I was with a couple of different people, and all of us were like, "All right." It was okay. It just I didn't even like how they did the Joker. It is nothing was entertaining for that for me.
So what were you doing with this couple of different people? Swapping?
What do you mean?
Not in the traditional sense?
No.
Not in
we were watching crap is what we were doing. I mean, just killing time.
All right.
If you go into the Walmart and stand, they'll let you watch some TVs they got set up.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was in a Walmart Wednesday. It's the first time in a long time. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. This has been Bonehead Weekly. Feel free to hate on us about this topic later. Yeah. We're fine with it.
Keep in mind, it's my fault.
It's not Chad's fault. We all equally suck.
We will talk about actual good martial art films in an upcoming episode.
Probably not. We've not seen any.
Oh.
Hey, Kill Bill.
Yeah,
which technically comes up, and it came up on a couple of ninja lists.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, is it because of Ren Ishii?
I don't know. I don't see that as a ninja film myself.
I don't either.
All right. This has been Bonehead Weekly.